Hello, everyone, and welcome back to class. It's nice to see you all here again today. Today, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look at Google Slides. But instead of looking at Google Slides as a presentation tool, we're going to look at slides as a note taking tool for the students. And there are several reasons why I think this is going to be helpful, which I'll go into in a second. But I first want to address the big concerned question I think a lot of you are going to have right now is, but slides are only yay big. They can't fit all their notes on the slide. And I'm going to be like, you're right. They're small, but you can change the dimensions of a slide, file, page setup, custom, and you can make them 8.5 by 11, which is actually what the scale of the slides I'm using up for today's presentation are. So they can get a full notebook size sheet of paper if that's something you feel is necessary. But a couple other benefits of this, and I think one of the biggest benefits is it allows students to place things where they want, and it's not just text. By putting things in slides, you can add pictures, you can add videos, you can add shapes, hyperlinks, anything else that you might need in this presentation to help, for the kids to take their notes on. And they can be placed anywhere. They don't have to stay linear. And some of you are thinking, wow, this sounds like you're making a hyperdoc. Yeah, I am. I'm telling the kids to make a hyperdoc for their notes. And we'll talk about a little bit why that's helpful as we go through this. You can break up presentations into chapters and units for the kids' notes. You can dedicate a slide for a single topic. So even if a topic doesn't have a lot of written notes to it, it might have things like a lot of pictures that go with it, or maybe a really good video that the kids can put in there to follow along later. So they have access to all the tools that you're showing them in class, essentially. This notebook now becomes more interactive. It's not just words on a page. It's things that they can click and see and colorize, and really highlight to draw your attention to things. It makes it easy to connect it to third-party programs. You can connect it to your Nearpod. You can connect it to a vocabulary lesson. You can connect it to an ed puzzle assignment, and then it all kind of comes together. And if you have an assignment that's multiple steps, like you're showing the kids long division in like 4th grade or 3rd grade or whatever level you teach them long division in, you can make a slide for every single step and just annotate that one step for them, and they can copy all that in, or just send them a copy. And now suddenly it's easier for them to go through all the steps because every step is a separate slide and it's annotated and highlighted and colored to be easy to read for a kid. And I think that's where a lot of these benefits come in, as opposed to putting it on a doc where you really can't do long division. You really can't put in pictures and put them where you want. Or you're gonna, you can make a slide per a topic per page, but one page might have 2 lines and blank space. It's not really pretty. But let's get moving forward to this, and a couple quick shout outs to Mrs. Raphael and Mrs. Reiser, who were kind enough to send me their notes. There are two, an English and a social studies teacher I work with. So I was able to use their notes to kind of show examples of how a kid's notes might look in this scenario. So we'll start off with English. So in English, we're dealing with the ideas of cause and effect. So you can see we've got our quick definition here. We've got signal words for the kids to look out for in a nice, neat, organized table. We've got a little graphic here. We've got some tips. And we've got a video that demonstrates cause and effect in multiple ways. Couple of ideas you can do there. You can put signal words here, put the table here, leave it blank. Have the kids come in and fill that table in. The GIF, you can have the kids find their own GIF for cause and effect. Same with the video. But I would say if you're going to make the kids find those things, make sure you have a couple examples that you can send them if they're having trouble. This way, no kid gets stuck. They have a bailout, essentially, if they can't find a video that they think is helpful. Signal words, you can have them fill it in on their own, have them break up into groups and research the examples. So you can set up the outline and then have the kids just fill it in later. But it makes it easy, it's nice, it's engaging, it's colorful, it draws your attention to the few big things that the kids need to know about. And again, you've got a video for them to watch because kids like videos, I don't care what anyone says. Let's head over to math. We'll take a look at something a little different here. So in math, we've got the Pythagorean theorem, and in this one, we're actually going to be working on the lesson through vocabulary, but we want to give the kids a little bit of an overview before we get into it. So we've got the name of it, we've got a picture of Pythagoras' statue here, we've got a little bit of information about him, we have an example of how this all kind of works together. We have an example here of a right triangle with the sides labeled just so they have it. And then we've got a vocabulary link. So if they click on that, it opens up vocabulary for them. It sends them right to the lesson, and they can begin their lesson, or you send the class link or whatever link you would need for that. You just attach it there, and then the kids can go through and with you or on their own and do their lesson. But they always have this basic sheet to come back to that kind of breaks everything down for them. Moving forward onto science. Again, we did this one as a vocabulary lesson on the water cycle. We did include the vocabulary, and if we click where it says vocab, it actually links us again to our water cycle, so we can go to our vocab cards. We can't access them because this doesn't have an account, but if it did, you could send it there. Vocabulary also at the top, same link. We also have a summary. We also have a summary here showing the main steps of the water cycle: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. You could keep those words separate, have the kids put them in the right place in the triangles, which means there's multiple ways to do it. As long as you have them leading to the right section, it doesn't matter per se. And then we have I keep doing that, sorry. We have an image here of the water cycle that's in a little bit more detail for the kids to kind of keep their eye on. This is something where you can have the kids go find their own picture of the water cycle, so they can find one that they feel is helpful to them. This one might have too much information. Other ones might not have enough information for them, so they can kind of find one that works for themselves. And last but not least, we're going to take a look at social studies. So we talk about in this one U.S. citizenship. So we talk about how you're a natural born citizen and how you become a natural born citizen, or if you're an immigrant and you want to go through the legal process of becoming a citizen, how that's done. We have 2 links here to Citizenship and Immigration Services. The first one literally sends us to their homepage about citizenship and naturalization. What's nice about this is you can have the students kind of run a web quest here, so they can look and find the information that you think might be important for them. Becomes a little bit more of an engaging class. Instead of just telling them about it, they can go through it. Our second one sends the link to the quiz for naturalization, dealing with civics. And again, this is something where you can send them here and they can look through it, and you can have them pick 3 questions that they think were really interesting, or you can take some of these questions and put it into a form and have them take a citizenship quote-unquote quiz. These are potential questions. They're not going to get every one of them, but it would be fun. It's a fun idea and something a little different for the students to consider, and really give them more of a hands-on experience into this process, and as opposed to just being told about it. But that depends on your class. So it finishes up. We have a little video that talks about the responsibilities of citizenship, just so they have an idea of, as a citizen, what's expected of you. It's important for them to be aware of that. But I hope out of this you find some things you like. You got some good ideas. I hope you take this more with an open mind, that with technology things don't have to be the same, even if they are still the same. Notes are always going to be a part of school, but perhaps we don't need to do notes the way we've always done them. Maybe it's time to reevaluate how students take notes. I'll say that yes, this stuff does tend to take a little longer to write, but I think the trade-off there is it's going to be something the kids are going to remember more. and use more frequently because it's in a different format. But I say you guys are always better judges of your kids than anyone else ever would be, so use that as your guide. But that's it from me on this. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys came up with some good ideas. Until I see you again, though, class dismissed. Bye.